Don't talk at all, just surrender to the lonely road. Left with nowhere to run, held by the curse we know. So what are you waiting for? Stand on the clear side of you. Is there a meaning to behold? Nothing can get past you. We could try to outrun this earth. At least hide away from the demons within us.
Good morning, or whatever it is, wherever you are. So, we've been tracing down the weird cases in the crafting hint system. We've got a conflict between saying that you need to pluck a milkweed, fruiting milkweed, to get a milkweed debris, to get a milkweed seed, because it says, hey, you get a milkweed stalk, and doesn't consider the debris as part of the chain. And the counterexample to that is we don't want, needle and thread plus some rabbit fur to be a something which selects the needle, even though you need a needle to do a bellows. You don't care about this one. The other case that was confusing is that if you pick up a milkweed seed, it won't tell you to plant it if you want to get a milkweed stalk or thread or something downstream. And the problem is that milkweed is both a naturally occurring item and something you can get to fairly deep in the crafting tree. And it's always preferring shallower things. So I'm trying to figure out how can we... Well, I was trying to do some stuff with affecting... Yeah, taking out the shallowest stuff here. Yes, actually it's checking it here. So at every level, it's only picking one? So things which produce, in the case we were at was milkweed sprout produces milkweed, which eventually produces fruity. Well, any milkweed gets you milkweed stock. So we go to milkweed sprout. And that's way up the tech tree. But we are always preferring the shallowest thing. Target depth. Oh, because it's target and actor. So if the target is higher up the tree, but then we only pick things we can only pick one thing out of each level. And I think what I want to do is pick everything in order to get back to the milkweed seed. That's probably going to be too much in a lot of other cases. So, one of the things I was thinking about is, can I streamline testing? This is getNumHints, which just takes an object ID last hint filter string. Okay, so these are all the slash commands. Is this a function? Key down. Safe field, get text. Safe field, set text. Uh, 13 is enter. Okay. So where do we kind of start up here? Okay, so you don't have main. Living life page. Hint sheets. Yeah, so that's the, well, I don't know if it's the entire startup. But we wanted to try to do, see if we can get something, some kind of self-test going. Safe field dot set text as I don't know if it's uppercase or lowercase. Is it key? No. No. Enter. Key down. And then what is it? Get num hints object ID. Is 220. Okay, that was a bit more than those hits than I expected. Oh, indeed. So for now, we'll see if this shows up in the log, and then if I can get this to work, I can do a sort of test case with it. All right, log should be clear. Okay. Just didn't... No, that did not run properly. It may have been before we loaded in the transition database and stuff. Oh, did we at least get the filter set? No, we did not. So this appears to be the wrong place. Where? Huh. I know there's a step, but that might be called from outside. How do we know when the game starts? I guess draw would have to do some switching off. Still waiting birth, still waiting birth. Connecting. Server socket connecting. Waiting on friends. Loaded map. Loading progress. First server message. Started loading. This looks like our constructor. Aha! Make active. Wait for frame message. Server socket connected false. No, we were looking for, shoot, done loading first object set. Is live object fully set? Oh, it's a function. First map load done. Restart music, resume playing sound sprites. Done loading first object set. Still waiting birth. Living life page draw. And then we set, okay. There's a couple of conditions. First server message received. Haven't gotten first message from server yet. Done loading first object set. Have gotten first message. Done loading first object set. That seems to be our main thing. Yep. Do I still have those on register? So mark that. Living life page. Okay, so we got the say. Looks like it didn't. Looks like I have to open it first before I can set the text. Wait a minute. Typing slash opens it and. Not is focused. Oh, and it apparently you have to focus it. Wow, that happens surprisingly, comes up surprisingly often. I could just go back to force setting the filter. I just have to copy more code to do that. 'Cause there was a few steps in enter, which probably only some of them. Oh. Oh, no, it has to be slash. Okay. And that actually did this right away. So milkweed seed not relevant. And we've probably got a couple of starts in our log here. But we do have some of our tracing attempts. So now we can start asking things like, let's see, what does get num hints end up? Well, tab goes through the list. Oh, that's just dealing with the number. Get hint message. Get num hints. Sorted list. Find main object ID. Actor, actor, actor. Last hint sorted list. And this is this can return a full string, huh? Get hint message. You're an object ID and an index. Well, this isn't quite right then, because this is a particular index. I need to iterate over this. Yeah. And see if the thing I'm interested in is there, among other things. So we need, I might actually want a function for this. Oh man, my C's rusty. Let's see, so that would be... And we want to know if... let's see, that's going to be a trans. Trans record. I guess we only need this per loop. And then we want to say... we want to know if... let's see, right now we're looking for milkweed. No, this is the actual hints we're given. Actually, we can look specifically for if this is an object in hand. Milkweed seed. We're looking specifically for a target of 213. And for now, we can just put so I need a singular result. If not found, oh. I guess I was trying to use index because I don't know what variables he's been using. My number's hard to see. 16592. Okay, it is clearly... we have something misbalanced here. Ooh, yep. Okay, so this is his brace style, still confusing me. I guess for testing purposes, I only need to load up like objects and transitions. I don't really need to do the rest of the stuff. No, we forgot to clear the log again. Maybe it, not found. Which is what we expect here. So our test case is milkweed stalk. This object turns into that object. Oh, this is a big function, isn't it? Jesus, like step or something? Okay, fine. Where do we actually start doing code? Location speech, location speech. This is still kind of data, but kinda. Last player ID. Is that? Okay. This could have a return value, but doesn't really need it. Test crafting hint. Counts char. Filter. Int holding, int. Well, I can test target on this one. Well, if it's an object you're holding, it would have to be a target. So maybe that will hold up. Oh. But these are member methods. Which means we have to go into living life page.h. Could you kindly... No, I wanted you to bugger off. Yes, I know. That's what we're trying to fix right now. Are these all like system methods or inherited functions? Apparently. Test crafting hint, member declared in class life, living life page. Is this not the right thing? Are there other things in this file? Okay. Yeah, these are all functions. Alright, so now, did I actually remove this? Was this what I marked? No. Test crafting hint. Milkweed stock with 220 to 213. And hey, we should actually use those. I guess this could be actor. And then we actually want to say what we're working with here. Actor target. Okay. All right, milkweed seed not relevant. Not found. 220 plus 213. So now we can set up a couple of these. So we had milkweed seed with that was actually clicking on an object. Current hint holding ID. Get hint message. This would be kind of a pointer down click thing, right? Current hint object ID. Holding something with no hints, hide last sheet. We also have get hint message. It's this again. Current hint object ID. Next hint, object ID. Holding ID. But dest object, which will be unchanged. P hidden object, okay. Hint bookmarks. Dest object, give hint about what we're holding. A changed target after we act on it. Get trans, R-like object. Oh. Default transition. It's a temporary reaction state. Give hint about hits if no bare hand action applies. Select an empty space near an object. So num hints is about any object, I think. And I have to figure out if the whole target thing will make sense. So it's not necessarily actor. I mean, it's not necessarily a about and is target actually, so the case we're looking for with the milkweed stalk is fruiting milkweed, bare hand plus fruiting milkweed is a step to getting a milkweed seed. The target of that is fruiting milkweed. So it tells you should do something with fruiting milkweed. Okay. So if we're going to make a milkweed seed, we need a fruiting milkweed, which is 52. Oh. The target of that is 52. I think. And the other case we'd been given from comments it was needle and thread. So if we're trying to make a bellows and we have I didn't see which rabbit fur. Where's that comment? Bone needle produced from stitching shoes, and bone needle is a precursor of bellows, but it's very odd to show the shoe producing, transitioning, and filtering by bellows and holding 2 rabbit furs. You can't hold 2 rabbit furs. No, because actually it's 2 and 4. 4 pieces of cut. So if we are holding 2 pieces of cut rabbit fur, 207, and we're trying to make a bellows, we should not be, because that will produce a needle. Our target should not be 2 pieces of cut rabbit fur. So that's actually a negative, how would you call that? If we're holding, I guess that the set down transition is assumed. Actually, the one we want is 2 pieces of cut rabbit fur. What we should do is combine it to get that so we can sew it. So the awkward thing is that we care very much about the actor in that case. So I guess we're going to have to specify the actor we expect, which would be 0 in that case, milkweed stalk. Also, this would be milkweed seed, and this is going to be 207 plus 207 to get the 4 pieces of cut rabbit fur. And then we need milkweed. If we're trying to make milkweed seed, looking at a fruiting milkweed, we need to get, bare hand plus fruiting milkweed. If trans actor equals actor, right, we have to go to the to the H file. So the output I'm doing might be spammy, but the next step is to start looking at trees. Also going to have to look at the Y's. And this doesn't say not relevant on it. I guess because it is relevant? All right, log file. Not found. Zero two 13. So this was what? This was first one. I should probably. So this is fruiting milkweed should be relevant. New milkweed seed. Planting a seed should. Wait, did I get these crossed up? Wasn't? I might have got these crossed up. Okay, so fruiting milkweed is 52. We're trying Note, if we're trying to make a milkweed seed, fruiting milkweed, planting a seed should be relevant to getting a stalk. And this is more about a hint that doesn't exist. Issue should not be relevant to bellows. So we need to say that this should be true, this should be true, this should be false. Oh, that's just wraparound, okay. How do you describe this? So we want to say if one of the transitions has these two things, I guess it's really about how we report it. I guess it's what expected. If it's expected, well, expected, desired. And then if not found, we're kind of in this again. If it wasn't found and we were expecting to find it, it was not found. If it was not found and we were expecting it, it was missing. Wait, if it was not found and it should not have been there. We would call that words are hard. And we have to go to livinglifepage.h again. Uh-oh. Oh, and we have to, call all our functions. Which, the page did not help us with. Oh, no, we just missed this one. Did not help us with. Oh, I should probably have a tag on this. Not found, not found. Ooh, that's a big little tree there. That's a big old tree. Found unexpected? Oh no, 207 is, we need to change that to... we want unexpected to be needle and thread, which is 192.207. And then test, crafting, I need some little tag. Guess found works if it is. If it was not found and we did not expect to find it, then it is... How about we expected to find it. So that's a failure. If we did not find and we found it. Right. If it's not found and... If it's expected and found, that's what we want. If it's not expected, if it's not found, this is where Boolean logic gets terrible. And we expected to find it. That's the error case. Okay, so now we have a little bit of a test case for these. So I guess we should double check that these are all coming out as we currently expect them to come out. All right, so found. We did not find that one. We did not find that one. We did not find that one. Okay, so this is actually all correct right now. So the thing I wanted to try changing was, do we care about shallowest? To do that, we need to move this stuff inside of the loop. Indentation will be off for a bit. Ooh. Oh. Is this per loop? Oh, this is a bunch of shallowest stuff, too. What if we just search them all? Well, this only solves one of our problems. Foundation. Okay, so this wanders pretty far. I can see how he might have wanted to truncate the search. Not found. So that was a different case. That one is still not found. And I need a better tag now. There's all these foundations. Okay, and the bellows is still not found. So we just need something like... So we can quickly find our results. So just removing the depth tests did not help us. I'll have to update a lot of my... It takes a while to process, too. So, not found, not found, not found. Yeah, so these two are not as desired. We mainly expected that to improve the milkweed stalk case. They're specifically removing there. Not matches filter. No, that's because it's seeing this as the most important thing. So it's not seeing the debris and being able to move on to that. So that one we sort of... Oh, no, that's... Wait. Not found 0213. That was the one... What was my order here? Planting a seed should be relevant to getting a stalk. That's the one I expected to be solved by this. It's 220, 213. Oh, did I get this messed up? Oh, because if that's a row, yes, I did mess that up. Yeah. This should be 220. Yeah, let's recompile. So the problem here is this comes at a great cost of processing. So I might need to better understand why we're truncating that way. Found expected 222.13. We still don't have that one. It's a different case. And that has not affected the bellows needle. Apparently we reset our time count at some point here. There's a 900 up there. Oh, maybe that's and milliseconds for this timestamp. Okay. Is that where I put my mark? No, this is where I put my mark. So down around here is where we were playing around. So if we simply ignore depth, we get way off into the weeds. So I think this is where I need to be looking at trees. So let's have a look at applog. So you log pointer wrapper. Is that a different class? Static member and a static allocated class. Log pointer wrapper. Internally used class from there's the levels, set logging level, get logging level. There doesn't seem to be any place in here to actually print anything. Or maybe this only. Yeah, there's no actual file output here. Print log. Mutex lock. Shouldn't be an issue unless you're actually doing multi-threaded stuff. Log string v, log printf. Wait, log string v, logger name, thread printf. Where is it actually writing to a file? New file log. Default.log. Okay, so we got f open. Generate log message. So is this doing all the... Oh, this is a print log. And I think print log is doing all the timestamp stuff. Log backup. fprintf fclose. You have not done cfile.io in a long time. Can we... I guess you could throw them all into one graph. I'd have to... So there was the backup procedure. fclose, current file, backup file. Is file another utility thing? File log. File is indeed another utility thing. mlog file name. Clear the main log. This is doing this without, like, developing our own little class, which would be a bit of a diversion, might get a little bit messy. So we want to clear this on startup. Was it up around here? And that is a file. So that'll reset it. And what did this program like for its GV? I guess I could make this a temporary global. Test, crafting. Well, that much anyway. Should remove that? Yep. Wrong key. Okay, did not remove it yet. For what we're doing right now, we can probably just close this right away. Oh, no, this is going to be the handle. And then in here, it was what? Oh, no, because it's in the C. File log. fprintf. So wherever we're trying to get this stuff out, like here, and we'll have to add some framing stuff to this. Skipping category. Skipping category, picking. It's not, I mean, I might want to see if I can add something directly to that. About the result of stuff. So framing stuff. Ooh. Oh. I knew that felt wrong. Okay. fprintf. Uh, 8588. Yep. fprintf craft tree. And then we can go over here and... See, I've still got this open, don't I? Oh, you know what? We have to add new lines to all these. I mean, the diagraph might not actually care, but it looks a lot better. I guess closing that file would mean we'd actually attempt to write to a null file in the event we did anything else with the crafting system. Alright, so we now expect... I'm going to need 2 of these, I think. One life, build, Windows. To have a somewhat serviceable file, maybe. So I went ahead and put this in my other project because I was mostly using it there. Offsite, one life, build, Windows. 193. Okay, yeah, that might be a little bit too much stuff. And this is not even the unbound version, unless I probably need to do something to mark key objects that we care about. But we got lots of bound deck of... Oh my gosh, we got into cards. Also, I think that we had some collisions between our different tests, so this might actually be a bit clearer if I did this particular exercise one test at a time. Oh, and can we add anything? No, actually I had... Was it you? No, it was you. So this is where we need to do some GraphViz reference. No, actually this is probably attributes. So I know some of the things I did in the life log. Is it size? Yeah, and actually you can do independent attributes on these things, which is nice. Font size, shape. Oh, we overdid shape. Oh well. Should be last one wins. And then I think nodes can also have some attributes, but we don't use that much in this project. So we put out for our starting object. Hey, DedXI, how's it going? So this one we can just go ahead and do here. In the syntax for multiples is commas. Let's style filled. Font color, style filled. No, it's not my game, but it is open source, so I hack on it sometimes. Right now I'm trying to figure out why there are some cases where the crafting hint system does not tell you things I think it should. And then later on I'll be testing that as well as a possible patch for a location discrepancy bug. But it seems to only show up under regular load, so I have to test that in more realistic scenarios. So I'll do that when I'm actually playing the game. I may have to stash these changes, because I'm actually starting to get into stuff that can break the game here. Writing to files that might not exist and stuff. Alright, so we have our root object. How about we just do... Oh boy, that was some crazy stuff. Font size apparently has to be quoted. See if that's sufficient. So we're down to one object. We've highlighted that. Do we have any information So this is going to be everything it considers. We need the thing. So target greater than 0. This is the thing it picked. And this is going to be or only considering targets presently. No, that was only considering the target. This is an actor. Oh, I don't really have a representation of the plus here. And I think that this is the same thing. Is there like a line weight? Arrowhead. Maybe an edge style. Label, 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 layer, landscape. Width of graph or cluster label. All right. Documentation. How about gallery? These are colored lines. That's colored nodes. Node shapes, arrow shapes, colors. Node shapes. Ooh, here we go. Edge, edge, edge. Style bold. Style dotted. So I guess dotted we could do as like all of them. Oh, that can be like a default attribute, right? There's a way to do that. Labels. Yeah, node. And I'm assuming edge. Which we'd want to do up around here. No, edge. Was that style? Oop, that was home. Style equals dotted. No, let me go back to B. We're picking one, and we say we redo this edge with style equals bold. And we do that for the actor. Actually, I guess it only matters. Well, there's two levels here. We pick this one, and then we only actually consider it as a precursor on this. And particularly, we can actually distinguish actor target here. Color. Nothing seems to be blowing up. And we have like a refresh. Control R. Okay. So that pick is not the same as this pick. Also, why is 57 on... Oh, because those were doing labels. This was doing... No, because I just didn't generate a label for something. How did that happen? Alright, so milkweed sprout goes to milkweed, which goes to something. Milkweed stump. That's an old transition. Fruiting milkweed goes to milkweed. Flowering milkweed. And bare hand. Well, bare hand is with a lot of them. Maybe I should try and represent the pluses. That's all the automatic transitions. Well, we need to get a label for something here. So we did not generate labels for something somehow. 57. Is the milkweed stock. Which is new actor. Okay. Which is considered significant in some places. There's the removing. Or probably somewhere very different. So among the stuff we do, we've got target and actor. Old step ID maybe coming up there, but we're generating that for old step ID. Right? Old step ID. Oh, no, we didn't convert this one. So you need a new line, and we can't have any of this. Oh, so you're actually the key object we're trying to get to. Okay. And then we don't have that. So that'll give you a label. And then we had this weird case where we picked something that did not get picked earlier. We also highlighted a node. Why did we highlight a node? Okay, so bare hand comes in a few times. This test was, we're trying to get to milkweed stalk from fruiting milkweed. How are we getting a red node? Oh, I wonder if it could be that -1 is not a... Well, no, it seems to be showing up okay-ish. I guess we could try to be a little bit better about that. Although it starts to get a little bit annoying here. -1 is a... time transition. Close. And 0 is a... bare hand transition. Which is nice and all. But why are we applying red to a node? Oh, it's producing new edges. It's not doing attributes on existing edges. So like this is probably going back and picking this one. This is duplicated on that probably. And it's like bare hand plus milkweed, flowering milkweed. Gets you the milkweed stalk. We stop at milkweed sprout. This is where I have to start adding some extra information into it. Oh no, that's the UI highlight. Okay, I just happened to be in the center of the screen. Okay, so that solves that mystery, but the extra edges are actually being extra edges. You can't duplicate those to apply attributes. Hmm. Well, I guess that's not a big deal, but I might want to... Also make this a style equals bold. Oop, and then you also. So the information I want on these, let's see, what has depth? Is it an object or is it a transition? Objects have depth. I don't know that I can apply. Okay, so with a little bit of reordering, actor object string trans depth. Although this is specifically, yeah, for actor. So this is target depth. So that'll give some information, and then we're also going to possibly be affected by our start step. Old step depth we already got. This will solve one of our, well, it will sort of explain one of our questions. I may have to allow it to generate some additional stuff. This isn't necessarily a great representation of transitions. I'm almost wondering if I should have like transition objects in the node graph so I can better see those. Wait, milkweed stump is unreachable? Yeah, and this is higher than the things that we like here. It's farther up than that, so you don't see it. It seems like you can create a milkweed stump by picking a stalk. But that may get getting filtered out because it's a side effect. So level 1 picked milkweed sprout, but the only thing we picked to actually go in the list is milkweed to milkweed stalk. That should involve bare... Oh, maybe... That should involve bare hand? So this case is trying to make a milkweed stalk from a milkweed seed. And we get stopped there. So if we ignore this stuff again for a moment. See how crazy this gets. Oh, nope, it's just not responsive because it's so big, apparently. Do I still have this open? That's just a few lines. Really getting off into the weeds. So yeah, we apparently need something. Man, I don't remember it being that big before. I guess I may have added some extra lines to all this stuff. Oof. Well, I think I had increased the number of steps to go at some point, trying to get to what I wanted. Yeah, so we'd try cutting that back. Meanwhile, so from milkweed sprout, we have 1, 2. Yeah, it's only 3 steps to get back to the seed. That shouldn't be too far. This must be from the hose and stuff. Oh. Nope. It was able to shrink but not grow. So it's still thinking about that. I guess we need to cut back on that, because I guess you can kind of hit the entire crafting tree. So this is one of the reasons it cuts off. There's probably some reasonable rule to cut this off. But just saying if it's deeper than we are means you can never step back. Okay. Oh, an error occurred. It's too big. Well, I guess we'll try with only 10. I did not realize my log file was quite that big before. I still reload this? Oh, that didn't really change the number of records. And why is it picking anything with a diesel cylinder head? I guess it's considered a valid precursor of something, not necessarily of something relevant? And I may have to restrict this farther just to get something sensible. I think we're also putting like node labels and things in too many. Well, I guess there's the virtual objects. Because we have to search through everything to see if we stumble upon a milkweed seed anywhere. Huh. Still no response. I mean, I guess that didn't really change size. So it seems like this could be a problem getting to where we want to go, but that is just amazing that we can get from milkweed stalk to engines in 10 steps. Maybe it's like looking at bare hand and all the things that can do. I'm not sure I'll be able to write to the file if we do it now. Oh, okay, there's an error occurred. Load file. Well, that's significantly lower. Oof. Wow. So it loaded, but the cursor is just... Wow. Okay, so there's our milkweed stock. Look at the font size. Oh, it's blowing up anything that considers... Okay, so I need to actually apply this to like the root object, not to any old object. Okay, so that found it. It was few enough steps back. But that got us to... So milkweed sprout is 17. Do you have some other... Yeah, you've got some other... Ooh, man. That frame rate. And, well, I've got the frame rate down on the stream because I'm mostly looking at small text. But that's about 1 frame per second. So zooming is a little bit more efficient. I think that's all deck of cards or seeds or something. What is our driver for that big depth? So that actually starts to go back down a little bit. Oof. Man, it's hard to move a cursor with this much lag. What do we have down here? Still don't know what that is, object. Canada Goose Pond. All its timed transitions. Dry use sapling, 64. Oh, we hit full water pouch. That seems to be... Oh! Okay, it's not happy about that. Oh boy. So we are, like, labeling things multiple times. I guess we're really disciplined about this. We want to make some sort of data structure. So... before our object, that's fine. Do we have any sense of, like, our original initial precursor ID? We get down here, we add that thing. Hit IDs. Okay, so there is our original hits. Although we haven't got our depth yet. Oh, but it didn't actually fetch this object. And depth. ID depth. And we don't do... we still need to make sure that thing exists. Oops. But we don't need old step ID, but we don't want it to be big. Nope, we still have ID depth, but it is old step ID, old step depth. Old step ID. That case, though. So, simply removing the depth check doesn't do it. Well, it gets there, but it also gets a lot of other junk. I'm not sure you can avoid looking at things if you have to search through to find the thing you want. He was probably looking for decreasing depth, figuring that we're finding the precursors of this thing, and most of the time that will be heading downstream. It's just that for a milkweed seed, The milkweed is weird because milkweed is both a natural object and, in a sense, a craftable object. So how do we distinguish a milkweed sprout from going off into the weeds, so to speak? So now the awkward thing is, I kind of want to see what it looks like in game with this setup. But we don't have anywhere to fprintf to. We could leave the file open. Oh, no, I actually have to change stuff. Will that actually give me the transition I want? Just with a lot of overhead to write out the file. Okay, so now I have to get a milkweed seed. That does get us the answer we want. It just churns through a lot of other stuff. And it might tell us something is relevant when it's not relevant. This, for instance, might be telling us that making thread is necessary to making a hoe, which is necessary to planting a milkweed seed. But is that really the answer you want? Okay, gooseberry bush not relevant. I may not be going back enough steps to get fertile soil deposit. So I guess the question becomes, how bad is the search space on that when we're not writing out to files? Because it's clearly generating too much stuff for Dotty, although some of that is duplicated edges, which we'd need some sort of has printed transition cache to... Has printed transition, has printed item cache to take care of. So I think a lot of that stuff is duplicate, but it's also just a really big graph as well. So that's a gnarly problem. All right, so what if we looked at a different problem? Now, I don't think the actually the unbounded depth is not part of the solution to this one. I don't think. So the visualization there was helping us understand just how many things you have to consider if you can go backwards. Making milkweed seed. Fruiting milkweed not relevant. So I need to, that's actually probably going. So the good news is nothing blew up there, so maybe it ignores nulls. And our program quit on us. So we have to go back and find it again. Offsite, one life, build, Windows. Fruiting milkweed, milkweed debris, milkweed seed. Those are all on selected path. So why are you saying not relevant? We got to all the transitions. They're not fruiting anymore. Fruiting milkweed not relevant. So the weird thing here is we know the real problem is it's selecting for object in hand. It's searching back through the precursors. It found this, it selected that, but the actual hint isn't considered relevant because it only considers one object. Or rather, there is a most important object. Does that work into here, or is this step okay? And it is, yeah, get most important result. That's where we run into trouble. And this doesn't display that. So we would have to change this. This is a singular result. We have to consider both. Yeah, it would come down to this. So we would essentially want to say if new actor or new result, which could have some weird effects. But then this is like a whole different, So So then that can be a removed transition. Which case we need to find a new line style. F printf craft tree removing. See, so this is going to be what? Well, it's going to be a edge with don't know which one they use. And the matching thing we want because it could be from, because it's really actor target to actor target. There's potentially 4 edges here? Right, because we were considering a single precursor in the precursor search. So we knew the thing we were making. So we've got to consider actor, actor, and target, target. Those aren't necessarily the same edges that we used before, because it would have been actor and target. To those things. But then that's 4 edges we effectively have to remove. Although we could throw out the zeros for the most part. Let's see how that looks. Okay, so it removed... Ooh. Okay, so we got some items here that were not labeled in the other stuff. But this is the one it removed. Well, also probably picking the milkweed stock near the milkweed debris. Oh, so it removed the time. Looks like we lost fruiting milkweed to milkweed debris because we got the milkweed stalk here. Well, that could also be milkweed and, One of those is milkweed stock, one of those is milkweed, probably. We could simply consider both. That might show you some other things you don't want. Result of trans. So if we New target. And there was another. Oh, no, that was it. And this is something you'd have to do. Making milkweed seed. Okay, so that works for that. Where is our log file? Okay, so the main case to be concerned about here is does this negatively impact our bellows case? And I'm pretty sure it's not relevant to that. We can throw all our cases in there. Oh, bye, Prozaborg. Thanks for hanging out. Test crafting. Ooh. Okay, no, that was as... Oh, found unexpected. So that did end up impacting the bellows case. And I have to go figure out the editor to make a test scene to try that out interactively. I can double check my... test values. So 207 is 2 pieces of cut rabbit fur. So if we've got 2 pieces of cut rabbit fur, we do not want to see needle and thread on two pieces of cut rabbit fur. And it is actually that change that is protecting us against this. Exactly as commented. Result in a hit or a precursor of a hit if the trans doesn't display that hit. It's very odd to show the shoe producing when filtering. I'm not sure this is the right solution to that. I'm not sure what the right solution is. So it seems like the real problem here is that you went needle, needle, and thread something needle. So there's a loop there that should be taken out. Pep? Pep what? People? Well, I'm doing some investigation into the game on a game that people are interested in. It's either that or coding people. I'm tagged into that. And that's all theory crafting. You never really know where people come from. But my other case that I'm considering is planting a seed that gets us back to a seed. So if you cut out everything past the first point you see an object, no, it's been up for most of it. Started out slow and went up. Maybe your client hadn't updated. So in the milkweed case, we're trying to get to, well, milkweed stalk. But there could be some interesting loops there because it's kind of an ingredient in things that enable, some things that enable farming. Bone needle. The loop detection might be a... Oh, I wonder... We'd need almost like a list or a hash table of the deepest point we've encountered a particular object, a needle in this case. And we would want to sort of throw out the deeper of the two. Which could run into trouble with the milkweed seeds again, because it's like this... You've got the natural milkweed that's very, very low. And then the craftable milkweed, or the domestic milkweed, that's very, very high. But that loop removal gets... We essentially need accessory data structures to track the deepest we've seen something. You know what? We have not graphed this one yet. What does this space look like? It's a big one. And this is with our current reduced set of objects. Well, I did undo that one. I did undo that one change. It's got a lot of extra stuff. Maybe I should... Well, is this even usable? Oh, oil drink with charcoal. Oil drink with charcoal. Maybe that's one of the time transitions. Okay, well here's some rabbit fur stuff. I also need to do something to pick out my target item better. Is it maybe... Holy cow. And that's with only a 5-step look back. Is that the thing we changed? Making it that huge? Let's have a look at the file size. I think that even 15 was enough to cause it trouble before. Or 1500. No, offsite. One life build, Windows 193. Yep. Man, with the restriction, it just gives up. And that's with a 5-step look back. Oh, no, I marked it instead of going to it. So somewhere around here. That gets into a truly amazing amount of stuff. I guess you're doing with a needle and thread, which can do the bound deck of cards. Which is irrelevant, but we have no way of knowing that until we get to our goal. Alright, how big is our file? 600. It's half the size. Yeah, we must hit needle and bound deck of cards. No, Canada Goose Pond. Needle and ball of thread. I need to do like something very easy to pick out for our target object. There's bellows. Bellows without nozzle. 10207, 203. Wooden tongs, bellows without nozzle. So our the production for wooden tongs, which is sticks, which gets into a lot of stuff. Holy cow. Fired nozzle, clay nozzle. Okay, so that's all that side of the tree. Oop. It was sort of working. Because it doesn't like zooming out too far. I wish it had a recent file. One life build. There's needle and thread. Oh, this is actually serviceable scroll rate. Needle and ball of thread. Empty water pouch, which is actually the ingredient. And we didn't get past 4 pieces of cut rabbit fur because of our steps. Oh, empty water pouch then interacts with a ton of stuff. only one of which is the setup for bellows. And that's why you're getting all the Canada Goose Pond stuff. There's a lot of ponds. And there's our wooden tongs. You can't even see these right now. We're scrolling a little bit faster. A lot of stuff dealing with the bellows and bowl of gold in wooden tongs, all the forging stuff. Interact with the forge. So I'm not sure how to trim this down to... Well, we eventually get down to objects we have in hand. So if you did over expand it, some step would have to be removing that. Where does this continue down to? Precursor, and then go through our filters, get things that involve and transmission, just leave it empty. Last hit filter string. Repeat the same string, goose pans in different states. Yeah, remove all that junk. Last hint sorted. Q. So this is only stuff that interacts with the thing we have in hand. Or our so there's our filter for what we were trying to make, which we have to precursor back. No, yeah, we get objects that match the filter. We precursor back. Show all trends instead. And then we remove things. Now, is this our target object? Where is... What was our target? What was the name of our target object here? Where do we actually filter back down to this? Get all uses. So maybe it's trans. Don't count object itself. Start depth. Start object. That might be it. These are exact matches. List of IDs that are used to make hit objects. Cutting off precursor self. Num relevant, not relevant. Skip any. Ah, okay, so this is relevant to the thing we're holding. So we could do the search and just like print out the entire list to speed things up a little bit, maybe? Actor target. So that's where we filtered down all the transitions we looked at, I think, to just the ones that interact with the thing we have. So in the end, you can filter them back down. So the needle is a tricky one. Well, I may have to keep pondering this. So where is... Get status, STG series. Let's make STG create a new empty patch. We have to select the message, the name, options. Actually, I never did message. We just did, let's see, this is trends. Make sure I don't have anything, I'm not missing anything here. Yeah, so craft tree. Display object description. STG new craft tree explorations. Oh, I guess you do have to provide a message. Debug info for craft trees. So STG series, STG status, RM, STG get new, refresh, put all that stuff into that patch and pop that patch so that we are not going to be using that when we play later on today. I should have my attempted patch for the position discrepancy, so we'll test that out. Craft tree, we still don't have good answers for. I mean, I guess they're problems because they're hard problems. But it still annoys me when I try to look something up and I don't get an answer. So I'll have to consider that, continue that exploration sometime. Maybe I'll take a break to work on some other patches. We'll see. But that is going to be it for now. I'm going to go eat lunch and then be back a little bit later to play the game and try out the position discrepancy test, at which point if I get that, I can remove all my other debugging on-screen junk. But meanwhile, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Let's see. So, was that during a break? Anyway, thanks for following. Oh no, I did see that. That's right. And I have to work on that timing. So I'm normally doing code in the mornings, and then on Saturdays I'm doing 1 Hour 1 Life. Tomorrow I'll be Slay the Spire, and I'm thinking about maybe doing Frostpunk later. What do we have going on? Nobody I knew doing 1 Life. Well, there's some more C code going on. And Hexpore's doing a Twitter CLI. So if you're looking for someplace cool to hang out, that's someplace cool to hang out. Thanks for hanging out with me. Goodbye, and until next time.